So the growth in the industry has been really astronomical. Sustainable investments have almost doubled in the last 4 years and more than tripled over the last 8. And we've grown quickly in line with that. And I have to say, it's a very exciting time to be in ESG, because especially with the recent shift, that it's now well accepted and understood that having a risk focus and looking at a company also from this outside perspective are both key parts of doing ESG integration. And that's been our approach from the beginning. And we believe it's the best way to generate meaningful, actionable ESG signals. And let me be clear about the risk management part. It's one part of ESG, but it's an essential one. And we like to call RepRisk the seatbelt of ESG. It's just absolutely essential for good risk management. Our data set is really unique in the industry, and that's particularly true when it comes to hedge funds and quant-focused investors. At the end of the day, what these investors need is 1, a long time series, 2, granular data, and 3, stable and comparable data over time. And to be frank, RepRisk is the only provider in the ESG space that meets all 3 of these criteria. We have data history back from 2007, so we're slowly approaching 15 years of data. We have daily granularity, so daily updates in our data from day 1. And on the third point, we've also been using the same consistent rules-based methodology to generate our data. And that really helps to ensure data integrity and data stability over time. And another important point is that our data is generated point in time, so it's not reverse engineered, which is an issue in some cases. So I think for quant-focused investors, it's really a match made in heaven. And today there's so much data out there, but there's a really clear demand for robust data. And I think RepRisk is really the definition of robust data when it comes to ESG. So I think when we look across our client base, our clients essentially all come to RepRisk for the same thing. They come to us because we help them to systematically identify, assess, and then monitor the ESG risks in their business and in their investments. And when we look at investment management, RepRisk is really uniquely positioned to support ESG integration across asset classes. So not just public equities, but also fixed income, private equity and debt, infrastructure investors, and quant-focused investors like hedge funds. And for these, we see these clients using our data to monitor their portfolios or their funds for early warning risk signals or for exit signals. We increasingly see clients incorporating our signals into portfolio construction, not just to reduce risks, but also to generate alpha. And when it comes to generating alpha with ESG data, RepRisk has a good story to tell there. And one great example of this is what was just published last year. Bank of America Securities did some research with RepRisk, and what they found is incredibly exciting for us. They found that using RepRisk data could deliver investment outperformance and reduce volatility, and they found those results across geographies, across sectors, across investment styles, and even across company sizes. So risk management is really in our DNA, and what we've been doing is really doubling down on our focus. So let me give you a few examples of how we're working to expand our features and offering to meet client needs. So one thing is that the area of ESG is constantly evolving, and there are new topics that are important to our clients. So what we do is we add additional hot topics to our research scope to make sure we can deliver clients the data they need. So we've just rolled out 6 additional ones, and an example of that is we last year added topic tags for racial inequality and for pandemics and epidemics. A second thing that we're doing is constantly adding new languages. So we have 20 languages in our scope today, and these help us to identify risks as early as possible at the local level. And we're going to be announcing 3 new languages next month. A third thing that we're doing is working around our client frameworks. So our clients are using a variety of sustainability frameworks in their day-to-day work, and we want to make sure that they can integrate those frameworks into our product offering. Last year, we integrated the SASB materiality map into our data set, and just last month, we announced the integration of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we're always looking at what our clients are using and what can we do next from a framework perspective. And I think the fourth and final thing is the risk metrics. So we have our proprietary risk metrics, and what we did last year was roll out a new portfolio level metric where clients can see the ESG risk at the portfolio or fund level. And maybe one of the most exciting things we're working on when it comes to our ESG risk metrics is we're working on a suite of customizable metrics that clients can use. So they can input their own parameters on ESG, on their risk appetite, and then create their own customized scores. And we partially rolled that out in a Jupyter notebook last year, and we're going to be rolling that out more broadly shortly.